Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Insight. We're so happy you're with us today. We are going to pick up where we left off last week and actually the week before as well. And I'm calling evangelical Christians, especially evangelical Christians, to rise from your bed of ease and help me take a stand and combat the witches, the nasty women, and the Muslims women who are calling for jihad in our streets. Today, I'm going to share with you why we must recognize the circus that's going on in Washington, D.C., and recognize how dangerous it is, and the main reason that there's so much power, occult-driven, in our government is because Christians have not taken a stand for God, for His Word, for this nation that it was literally founded on Jesus Christ, the Son of God, not a religion. And it's time that we rise and have a voice. I have one message for you today. You matter. Call your friends. Say Faye is on. What is going on in D.C. is absolute proof that what I've been teaching and calling for, which is to return the governing of the United States back to the states. Nothing could be more accurate than that call based on what's happening right now in Washington, D.C. We pay 535 elected leaders to operate this country in the best interest of the people. That is not happening. Where did all these moderates come from? These moderates who are nothing but Democrat lights. Why don't they just be who they are? How did they get there? And how can we cede authority to the Democrats when it was the 69 million Republicans that voted Donald Trump into office to do what he has promised to do? But it is impossible because of the sabotaging of his administration. The cry of the witches coming to pass. Call your friends, say Faye is on, you don't want to miss this. And I am Faye Hardin, and this is Well, welcome back, everybody. I want to thank you for being with us, standing with us, and partnering with us to bring the unfiltered truth to the airways. The reason that I fight so hard to stay in the airwaves is because there's so few voices that are not compromising, or they misunderstand or misquote the Word of God. And it's the Word of God that will never return void. You must know what it means. You must understand the timing. And we know how to pray, what to pray for, what to pray against, because this ministry is dedicated to praying and believing for America, America's deliverance from evildoers. The Bible says when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. So today I want to explain to you where the moderates come from. We had 69 million people, and a large number of those were evangelical Christians that got up, registered to vote, and went to the polls to choose life. We thought we had elected a government that was led by people who believed what the platform called for. A Choose Life platform, America, One Nation, Under God platform, safety, sovereignty, security platform, but that is not the case. What we did is we really got tricked, but our ministry has prayed for years for God to expose and destroy the works of the devil. What's happening in our nation right now is really revealing the truth concerning people who've made being elected to office a career. Now, what have these people done in their careers? I just jotted down a few notes before coming to the studio today. I want us to look at their accomplishments, and then I'm going to explain to you what a moderate is and where they came from and what we have to do about it, because they're deceivers. They have lied to the American people. They have stood with Barack Obama with everything he stood for. They've never investigated any of the lawlessness of the previous administration. And they're standing with spending $100 million of borrowed money, because we don't have any money as a nation. They spent it all for a special counsel to create a crime that would remove President Trump from office. And that's the cry of the witches. Remove President Trump from office, the rituals that they've held every month since January, live on the internet. I actually have a copy of the ritual. Close your eyes and envision President Trump exploding and just being ashes, and all who think like him. Well, they have their advocates in the high places. And what's happening in our government right now is occult driven. It is a circus. And what we've got to do is we've got to understand the only way to drain the swamp is, in 2018, vote them out. We've got enough evangelical Christians, if you'd still come on board. If the women of God would unite with me, with my Virtuous Women's Alliance that I'm organizing, our voice would go forth, and we could bring down the kingdom of darkness, and especially the triangle of evil women. Linda Zarzor, the Muslim woman, who's calling jihad on the President of the United States, that organized 5 million women to march in Washington the day after the inauguration of the president that 69 million of us elected. They also were at the inauguration. They harassed, intimidated, their vulgar, filthy signs, their megaphones, their violence. The only thing they wanted to do was make sure that we did not have our freedom to enjoy the victory that we had just experienced. They harass. I've never seen such evil organized. And I took my little miniature shofar, I went right in their face, and I told them that I'm an American, and we elected the person we felt would lead this nation under God. And boy, that just blew them away. So the organizer was Linda Zarzor, and she says standing up to Trump is a jihad. And I'm asking myself, and I've shown you her picture on other shows, I'm asking myself, why has she not been put under investigation for inciting violence? But she hasn't. Our Justice Department is defunct. Jeff Sessions is in bed with the Democrats. He's done nothing with his Deputy Attorney General, who appointed a special counsel another friend, another Obamanite, another liberal lawyer to create a crime against our president, and our attorney general has said nothing about it, and our Congress and Senate, the Republicans, have funded it. So what are we doing? We must let our voices be heard. This is their record. Let me just show you. What they've done is they have spent $20 trillion more than what they took in. However, they also spent everything they've taken in since George W. Bush and Bill Clinton and Herbert Walker Bush. They spent everything they took in, plus they robbed the Social Security Trust Fund. Herbert Walker Bush robbed it. He never paid it back. Bill Clinton robbed it. He never paid it back. George W. Bush robbed it. He never paid it back. And Obama finished it off. And we've got senators and congressmen now touting that Social Security is broke. It is broke. And they feed us these lies, but they spent this. They spent it as new income plus another $20 trillion plus the Transportation Trust Fund. And that is their record. They took over, let me tell you, they took over our health care. And the Republicans stood with them. So what are we doing? We don't have who we think we have in Washington, D.C. What have we got to do? We, the people, must let our voices be heard. I'm asking everybody watching my program to get up and unite with me. I'm asking women to come out, evangelical women, and know that God has given us work to do. You can go to my website, insightUSA.us, and you can sign up for our weekly Faye's Facts, and I'm going to tell you more about it in just a minute. Hi, just want to give you an update on the outreach of what we're doing, especially in the media. Number one, to combat the wicked women, we are organizing virtuous women. Please contact me and get on board. We are on Facebook, Facebook.com/Faye USA, live weekly with an insider's briefing. YouTube, Insight USA, live briefing weekly. And then insightUSA.us. You can get our information and you can see what you need to do to have a voice. It is time God's people has a voice. Will you support me? Will you join our movement to combat what the witches are doing in this nation now? Based on the circus that's going on in Washington now proves that the governing of this nation needs to go back to the states. What is the real reason that President Trump is absolutely being slandered to a degree I've never seen before by liberal liars and nasty women, the witches, and the Muslim women connected to terrorism? Well, one of the things that's happening is the money laundering that is coming forth from these federal agencies, the bloated government they created. There's money laundering that is going on. I'll explain that to you in a minute. The slush fund the senators and congressmen have set up for themselves. And what a lot of this is coming back from the insurance companies. They want to give another, I think, $258 billion because this is how it works. These federal agencies give out federal contracts Well, the federal contracts includes tax-funded kickbacks to the members of Congress. Why do you think they're not going to renounce the taxes that's going to these insurance companies? And why do you think the Democrats especially and the moderate Republicans do not want to repeal Obamacare? The slush funds that's coming from federal contractors with grant money that's funneled, and why is there not a transparency? Only God knows what the three nasty Republican women that voted to not repeal Obamacare are getting from Planned Parenthood. Well, how many millions of tax dollars are going to Planned Parenthood? It just makes a little circle back in their pocket, and we are never told exactly what the kickbacks are, but we need to investigate and find out. The face facts that I send out each week gives you details of what our program touches on, and we want you to be sure and sign up for it, and I'll tell you how in just a minute. But before we lose our time, I want to tell you what a moderate is. A moderate literally is the creation of George W. Bush and Karl Rove. They removed the conservatives from office because they would not vote with President Bush to merge Mexico, the United States, and Canada. So they needed more votes that would renounce our U.S. Constitution and take the United States and make them subservient to the United Nations. And they couldn't get conservatives to go along with this nonsense. So Karl Rove began to remove conservatives in office to the point that he lost the Republican majority. And he didn't mean to do that, but he did. But the moderates are a creation. That's where it started. Well, whenever Barack Obama won, he was right in the groove with George Bush and Herbert Walker Bush and Bill Clinton's desire to see our Constitution lay down and for the United States of America to become subservient to the United Nations. One world religion, one world order, eliminating God as we know Him, eliminating Christianity as we know it, giving it equality to Islam and any other religion. They decided that Jesus didn't play a real big part in the fact that He went to the cross, His blood was shed, the crown of thorns on His head, the sacrifice that we could be saved. They equated that to Muhammad, to Allah, and that was their goal. They took the Bible and brought the Qurans into the White House. They brought in Ramadan into the White House. The Christians, you stay on the outside, and we're going to raise up Islam to be a peaceful religion, and we're going with it because they needed that to bring our Constitution to a dead-end street. We can't have that. Then when Obama got elected, the Karl Rove appeared again, and he told, and I watched this, I researched it, he told Boehner, don't worry about these conservatives because we're going to make sure that you win the primaries, but give Obama everything he wants. And Boehner did. And the majority of the elected Republicans who were moderates also went with the Democrats, ceding authority. Even though we had elected them in a majority, they continued to walk and support the Democrats. They still are. So what happened? They used the primaries, they made sure that Mitch McConnell and the majority of moderates in the primaries, that they lost the primary election because they cut a deal with Nancy Pelosi to bring in the Democrats to vote in the primaries to make sure Lindsey Graham, John McCain, Boehner, Paul Ryan, that they won primaries, and that their win in primaries would keep the Republicans with the moderates in the majority. And that way their slush funds would never be aborted to give benefits to Nancy Pelosi's cheap labor, George W. Bush's family's cheap labor in the vineyards. They give them cheap labor and put them on the federal government payroll, our payroll. We work 2 to 3 jobs, and most of the people cannot afford Obamacare or a health care plan. But if you don't do anything and you vote Democrat, hey, there you go, free, absolute free. Well, what we've got to do is we must plan now for our candidates to prepare to run for office in the primaries. And what the Christians, only a smidgen of us voted in 2016. We haven't even touched the surface. I could raise enough Christian women who believe the way I believe, that believe twisted people can tell a child, you're not really a boy. We've decided that you're a girl, so we're going to give you hormone medicine, and we're going to bring in these drugs, and we're going to do that, and we're going to convince you that God didn't make you a male. And they're killing our kids. I heard a pediatrician this week say we don't know what to do. They're bringing in all these hormone drugs. They're confusing the kids, and these kids are becoming sterile. They're twisted thinking. We can change it in 2018, but you must get on board now. Hi, I just want to thank you for supporting 2016 with us. We have had some awesome prayer summits in 3 cities, in 3 states, Redeeming the Land and Avenging the Blood of the Innocent. We have met some of the most powerful professionals that do have the information on our country that you need to hear. And we want you to know that God is blessing our program. You can now download the GEB app on your cell phone, on your tablet, or on Roku. And DirecTV now is offering programs on your phone apps. So check it out. Help us get the word out. And then our YouTube also airs our program. My friends, our time is gone again, but I really, really need you to step up to the plate and join me. Write me a letter. I love your letters. Include a check for $125 or more, or whatever God asks you to give. I'm believing God for $1 million, and we need it now. We could take America in 6 months back with the truth if we just had a little bit of money to work with, and I know now is the time to do that. I want to send you our congressional directory to show you the bloated government that we are supporting when actually we should be being governed by the states. This takeover of health care is a joke. All they have to do is repeal the takeover of our health care. What we say to our doctors and what they say to us and what insurance policy we want to buy is none of the business of Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, John McCain, and Susan Collins, and the 3 nasty Republican women that are trying to just unite and cede authority to the Democrats. I need to hear from you. Please request the Face Facts entitled Hoodwinked. It's one of the most informative weekly prayer bulletins I have ever written. Tells you exactly how to break the curses, how to send them back, and the people that are trying to remove Donald Trump from office are doing it from an occult influence. We must stand with our president. 69 million of us voted for him. The majority of the people in the Congress and in the Senate are doing everything they can to remove him from office. The Republicans that are not standing on the platform they were elected and that are using our United States Treasury is nothing but a slush fund and for kickbacks. I wonder how much money these three nasty women, especially the Republicans, are getting from Planned Parenthood and these insurance companies they want to prop up. We're not going to take it. All we have to do is understand what we need to do and when. That's what I'm doing. Go to Facebook at /Faye USA and get my Facebook live briefings. Saturday, live briefings. But today, I need your support. Number one, I need for you to unite with me and say, Faye, I will vote in 2018 in the primary. We will see if it is a scam that they're bringing out Democrats to elect those that will stand with Democrats and seat authority. We can find this out. And also, the leakers and our Justice Department is infiltrated, and we need to find out what crime Robert Mueller is investigating and why Rob Rosenstein called for a special counsel. What crime was he basing this on? Our leaders, they're not going to do it. They are ceding authority to the people who actually got them on the first base elected. President Trump needs us. He needs the people who want him to build a wall, cut taxes, put America first. And I need you in your giving. Put America first. Believe God with me for that $1 million. It needs to come now. And I'm trusting God to do it.
Faye wants to hear from you. Her desire to see America come out of exile is raising up one of the most powerful, informed, anointed, and united prayer networks in America for America. She is organizing Christians for the U.S. Constitution to give uncompromising believers back their voice and witness. If this program has blessed you and you believe in what Faye is doing, contact her, pray with and for her, partner with her. She would love for you to host an Insight rally in your church or city. Organize an Intercessors with Insight prayer team or join one. For a complimentary pocket-sized constitution or Faye's fax, call or email Faye 407-265-0700 or faye.usainsight@gmail.com. Write Insight USA, P.O. Box 917689, Longwood, Florida 32791.